Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to another week and the beginning of the week here at St. Simon and Jude. Father Pat with us for our Monday conversation. We always focus on your article and or your homily each Monday morning. And this week, as we've kind of exited the Easter season, the Most Holy Trinity and the Corpus Christi celebration from last weekend, we move all the way into the ordinary time. And I think 13th Sunday of Ordinary Time is where we resumed. Uh, uh, Maybe it was the 11th Sunday this weekend. Yes, it was. And Father, with this time of year, this year we're going to go through the entire book of Mark at the weekend masses.
Yeah, so we are entering ordinary time. Ordinary time actually started right after Pentecost, but these last two Sundays we had the special celebrations of the Most Holy Trinity, and then followed by the Corpus Christi, the precious body and blood of Christ. So this is the first Sunday that we actually entered into ordinary time. First Sunday that you saw us in green vestments and ordinary time, right? It's not just ordinary. We call it ordinary time because it comes from the Latin word ordinal, which means to count. And it's just, we count off each Sunday, this one being the 11th Sunday of ordinary time. And then we continue on. And during ordinary time, we read the gospel of that year, the featured gospel. We're in year B, so the featured gospel is the Gospel of Mark. We read that gospel in sequence, just one chapter after another, one set of verses after another. And so here in week 11, we pick back up at the end of chapter 4 of Mark's gospel. And it's kind of ironic that we're reading Mark's gospel here this year as we come out of the pandemic, because I think Mark's gospel is particularly pertinent to us this year as we emerge from this pandemic. Mark, throughout his gospel, is trying to make a point that Jesus kind of pulled back into what Mark is saying is Jesus started talking to his apostles and disciples, started giving information to to the insiders, and the outsiders couldn't really get the whole message. Jesus talked in parables and all, and he'd explain it to the insiders, really kind of set up this dichotomy between insiders and outsiders. But Mark goes on to point out, and what we'll be hearing in the coming weeks is that the difference between being an insider and being an outsider is faith versus fear. The apostles, the consummate insiders, start acting more like outsiders because they become afraid. We'll hear these series of stories about the storms that came up, and we'll see the apostles starting to doubt Christ and being confused by it all, and not really recognizing what Christ can do, and kind of be surprised by Christ, who they've been following all this time already. But meanwhile, people that are outsiders, a woman with hemorrhaging, and people from different parts, and centurion and all, they come to Jesus and they approach Jesus, or someone brings them to Jesus with great faith, and they become an insider because they have this great faith, and Jesus reach out and heals them. And so our message to us is that, we're gonna, when we're suffering, when we're down, we're gonna struggle with our faith. But it is in that faith that we really are insiders with Jesus, that we really can get that message. And that's where we need to reach out and help each other to grow in the faith, to strengthen each other in the faith, so that we can all, as we're emerging from this pandemic, that we can all grow in our faith and be those true insiders, not afraid, but approaching Jesus and having those encounters with Jesus is in faith. And so it's a wonderful message that's going to unfold for us here through the rest of the summer and into the fall, leading up to our celebration of Advent, which will start the new liturgical year.
The writing style in Mark is markedly different than other gospels. John is certainly very vivid and almost novelist sort of writing. Mark is sort of like a newspaper reporter. And there's an immediacy to his writing. What's your comment on that?
Yeah, no, that immediacy is a big feature of Marx. Everything is quick, everything is short. You got to get this, you got to get it now, you got to understand it now. But you do go through doubt, you do go through faith, right? The interesting thing is scholars believe Mark was Peter's secretary. So a lot of the stories come from Peter, but yet we see Peter struggling with his faith. But he's always on the go. Jesus is always on the go. Peter's always following him. They're always there. They're always moving. But Peter will sometimes doubt and all. And the Mark's message is that life is fast moving. It is urgency. There is quick movement. We will stumble. We will fall. We will have doubt. But we've just got to keep moving on, growing in that faith, trying to become that insider, continuing to grow in our faith, being persistent, moving forward.
Father, thank you for your time and have a good week.